Deaths from COVID-19 could double by June if distancing rules are relaxed. Dr. Anthony Fauci says overnight he's worried about the months ahead as states lift restrictions. And as thousands pack reopened beaches in Texas, the record surge in cases reported there.
Food shortage fears. Wendy's taking burgers off the menu. Costco announcing limits on meat purchases. The big chains making big changes this morning.
Ready to set sail? The major cruise lines planning to return to service this summer, while more than 70,000 workers are still stranded at sea over coronavirus fears. When will passengers be ready to climb back on board?
Kids and coronavirus. Doctors sounding the alarm. At least 15 children hospitalized in New York with a rare but dangerous condition, the mystery illness that could be linked with COVID-19. The frightening symptoms they're seeing around the world.
A first look at what's in store for the future of dining, from socially distanced seating to plexiglass shields. Starbucks reopening 85% of their stores in the U.S. by the end of the week with some big changes. Their CEO joins us live only on GMA this morning.
And classroom heroes.
You're superheroes to me. I love you.
This morning, we're celebrating National Teacher Day, and the educators all across the country still teaching, delivering school supplies, tens of thousands of lunches, creating new classrooms, and going above and beyond for their students.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And good morning, America. Happy Tuesday to everyone. And we're very happy to have Whit Johnson here with us in Times Square.
Great to be back with you. And happy National Teacher Day, everybody, to all of our incredible educators across the country. My little sister included in that group. And Robin, we just can't thank them enough for their inspiration and comfort during this difficult time.
You are so right about that, Whit. Let's take a look at this remarkable image of a teacher going the extra distance, like I'm sure your baby sister is, from a social distance. That's Mr. B, sixth grade math teacher from Texas, taking the time to help a student in his driveway. His mom writing on social media, if that's not dedication, I'm not sure what is. And this preschool teacher in San Antonio also rolling up to some of her students' driveways for a social distance lesson. I hope they're all, George, I hope they're feeling the love, teachers all across the country. Good morning to you.
I sure hope so as well. Good morning to you, Robin. We're seeing that kind of dedication play out every day across America right now as the number of COVID cases has climbed past 1.1 million. The death toll, sadly, is also rising, nearly 70,000 souls lost. And right now, at least 38 states have lifted some of their stay-at-home restrictions, but cases are climbing in some parts of the country that have eased up, Robin.
We're keeping that in mind. We're going to begin our coverage with our chief national affairs correspondent, Tom Yamas, who is tracking the latest all across the country. Good morning, Tom.
Robin, good morning to you. Even though the White House put out guidelines on how states should reopen, in state after state, we're seeing governors adopt their own plans and reopening, even though, as you mentioned, in some of these states, cases are on the rise. Right now, the public health crisis versus the economic crisis is getting more intense every day. This morning, as COVID cases grow in several states, a warning. The New York Times obtaining a preliminary analysis from Johns Hopkins sent to FEMA to help with scenario planning. Preliminary data showing the number of American fatalities from coronavirus could nearly double by June 1st, increasing from about 1,750 to 3,000 a day if social distancing rules are relaxed. The White House saying the government hasn't yet vetted the research. But Sunday, the president acknowledging the death toll in the U.S. could hit 100,000. Overnight, Dr. Anthony Fauci saying he's worried about cases potentially increasing in the coming months as states reopen.
It's the balance of something that's a very difficult choice, like how many deaths and how much suffering are you willing to accept to get back to what you want to be some form of normality sooner rather than later. You know, it's something that people feel very differently about.
Fauci urging the country to be prepared with hospital beds, PPE, and ventilators. In a separate interview, telling National Geographic, I don't think there's a chance that this virus is just going to disappear, adding he's hopeful a vaccine will be ready come January. Dr. Fauci also pushing back on the Trump administration's suggestions that the virus could have started in a lab in Wuhan, telling Nat Geo that all the scientific evidence, quote, strongly indicates that this virus evolved in nature. And as more than half the country eases restriction, in 17 states, the virus is still spreading, in states like Illinois, Maryland, Indiana, and Virginia. And in Texas, where thousands packed reopened beaches this weekend, officials reporting a record amount of cases. More than 2,000 new cases on just Saturday and Sunday, the highest increase since the outbreak began. 41-year-old Texas mom Shannon Butler was diagnosed with coronavirus last week, the virus now taking an exhaustive physical toll on the mother of a 3.5-year-old.
I would have done anything to have just played with him because he doesn't understand. I look like I'm okay, and I'm not.
In states like Pennsylvania, where the virus has appeared to slow, still more than 800 new cases reported on Monday. Ashley Harlocker, the head of human resources at a Pennsylvania nursing home, learned this weekend she tested positive for COVID-19. She does not know how she contracted it.
It's still not safe out there. I understand that people want to get back out there. We need to do it at a slow pace and make sure that we have all the protective pieces in place.
Now, in California, Governor Newsom says on Thursday he's going to release more information on how businesses can reopen. And right here in New York City, Mayor de Blasio says they're going to hand out 7.5 million face masks at places like grocery stores and parks. He says anywhere you turn, you're going to be handed a face covering for the coming weeks. George?
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Let's bring in Dr. Richard Besser now. He's the president and CEO of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, former acting director of the CDC, who's now advising 7 states here in the Northeast as they make their decisions to reopen. Welcome back to GMA, Rich. And let's talk about this phenomenon we're seeing right now. More and more states are reopening, even as cases are climbing. Some models say the death toll is going to double over the next month. So if you were the head of the CDC right now, what would your message to America be?
Well, George, first it would be I need to speak to the American people every day and explain what's going on. What we're seeing now is something that I've seen in every response that I've been involved in, and it's response fatigue. People are tired of having their lives disrupted. But what people need to understand is that we are in the early days of this pandemic, and going back to how things were 2 months ago is not possible. We're going to see large spikes in cases and people who are losing their lives when those losses could have been prevented.
So as we said, you're advising 7 states here in the Northeast, the representative from New Jersey, as they make their decisions to reopen. What are the most important factors you're looking at as these decisions are being made to say it's safe?
Yeah, the conversations that I'm hearing in states are all very similar. States want to see downward trends in hospitalizations and deaths to know that they're on the right track. And they want to see that for a couple weeks. And then they want to go slowly, carefully, based on the best public health science. So that involves ramping up testing, being able to identify people even with mild infections, because even though they'll do well, they could spread the infection. Finding out who those people have had contact with, and then providing people with safe places for isolation and quarantine so that they don't continue to spread this. And then as each industry is opening, making sure that there are standards in place so that workers can be safe when they go back. George, this is a pandemic that is not hitting everyone equally. Across the country, we're seeing frontline workers, large part Black, Latino, Native American, who are dying at enormously high rates because their needs and protection are not in place.
Yeah, the burden is falling hardest on those who can bear it the least. But you also mentioned this whole phenomenon, which everybody's also feeling, of kind of quarantine fatigue, just the need to get outside, the need to try to get back to normal. What about opening up more public spaces like beaches and parks?
Yeah, I think that can be done in safe ways. Again, you want to do it slowly and carefully and work with the public so people understand why when you go to the park, you still have to practice social distancing and hand washing and keep your mask on. But I could envision beaches being open where people are 6, 8 feet away from each other. But it should be done in a coordinated fashion, because imagine one state opening beaches and the others around are not. You're going to see a large movement of people to that one state, and that's going to put pressure and cause disease that could be prevented.
Dr. Rich Besser, thanks for joining us again this morning.
Good to see you, George.
George, now to the alarming new warning about coronavirus and children. At least 15 young patients hospitalized with a mysterious illness that could be related to COVID-19. Stephanie Ramos is outside Mount Sinai Hospital here in Manhattan. Good morning to you, Stephanie.
Amy, good morning. Throughout this pandemic, doctors have said very few children have become severely sick from COVID-19. But now a doctor at this major New York City hospital is raising concerns that a COVID-19 related syndrome could be affecting children. This morning, at least 15 children in New York City are showing symptoms of a rare but dangerous condition that could be associated with the coronavirus.
We hear frequently that the new novel coronavirus is sparing children, but I would venture to say very confidently that no, that's not true.
The New York City Department of Health issuing a warning for doctors to be on the lookout for the serious syndrome first reported last month in Europe. Doctors say the children first showed symptoms including fever, rash, and stomach illness, similar to a rare condition called Kawasaki disease, which causes the inflammation of blood vessels and can lead to heart problems.
The heart muscle itself is inflamed or injured and weak, or their blood vessels are so injured that their blood pressures are really low, and it leads to critical illness where other organs in the body can get severely injured.
Dr. James Schneider runs the critical care unit at Cohen Children's of Northwall in New York, where he says he is currently treating 6 patients with the syndrome.
Most children who get COVID infection or coronavirus infection will not develop this. However, those that do, it can lead to dire consequences for the cardiovascular system.
And while children remain only a very small number of confirmed cases, a new federally funded National Institute of Health study has just been launched to learn how COVID is impacting kids. Over the next 6 months, thousands of kids will be studied to learn how they're getting the infection, what it does to them, and whether they're spreading the virus with other family members. Whit?
A lot of people waiting to see those results. All right, Stephanie Ramos for us. Thank you. Turning now to those growing fears over shortages in the food supply chain. Costco, now the latest big chain to put limits on how much meat customers can buy, following coronavirus outbreaks at processing plants across the country, leading to thousands of cases among workers. Matt Gutman joins us with the latest. Matt, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Wade. At first, we saw supermarkets with spot shortages. Then over the weekend, major supermarkets began rationing the sale of meat. Now, major restaurant chains like Wendy's are struggling with their beef supply. This morning, those meat shortages turning the catchphrase from that iconic Wendy's commercial seemingly into reality. This Wendy's drive-thru in Michigan only selling chicken.
I went there for lunch to grab the kids and stuff, some Frosties and everything. They're like, we don't have any beef today.
Some stores also affected in California, and a Wendy's spokesperson saying beef suppliers across North America are currently facing production challenges. Because of this, some of our menu items may be in short supply from time to time. Nationwide production of beef and pork is down at least 25%, with outbreaks sickening thousands of workers at dozens of slaughterhouses. The result, wholesale meat prices have skyrocketed, up 60%. Beef prices the highest in decades, according to industry insiders. All the while, demand for meat by Americans homebound because of COVID are up an estimated 40% at groceries. And that has led to some of America's largest supermarket chains to ration meat sales. Costco, Kroger, and others saying they'll now begin limiting fresh meat sales, only allowing customers to buy 2 or 3 packages per household.
And Matt Gutman is back with us live. And Matt, economists are telling you that pretty soon consumers are going to see a jump in prices at supermarkets as well.
That's right, Whit. You know, in the piece we mentioned that beef sales and prices are up 60%. That's a record number. And so far, meat producers and supermarkets have been absorbing those costs. But economists say that cannot last. And over the next few days and into next week, they say that consumers might begin to notice a significant uptick in prices at supermarkets. Whit.
All right, Matt Gutman for us. Thank you. Robin?
Okay, Whit, thank you very much. Now to the cruise industry, as we know, hit hard by the pandemic. While thousands of workers are still stranded at sea, now at least 2 cruise lines are announcing plans to return to service for passengers as early as this summer. Our transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez, has the latest.
This morning, major cruise lines signaling a potential return to service for some of their ships this summer. Norwegian Cruise Line telling ABC News overnight it plans to relaunch cruise operations with embarkations beginning July 1st. And Carnival Cruise Line announcing what it calls a phased-in approach, which could return 8 ships to service as early as August 1st, but adds nothing is final and that it's working with government officials on a potential return to service.
It is interesting, though, that they can't get me off the ship, and yet in a few months they can get guests on ships and start sailing again.
Ryan Driscoll works aboard the Seabourn Odyssey, owned by Carnival, which says it is committed to getting crew members safely home.
I'm a citizen of this country. I don't have the virus. I've been stuck on a ship for 50 days. Let us off. Let us go home. Then let's talk about getting cruises started again.
More than 70,000 cruise workers are still stranded at sea in U.S. waters. Dozens of cruise ships have reported coronavirus cases since the start of the year, but some people are already hoping to get back on the high seas. Phil Dignan is a teacher who travels during the summer. He booked his cruise back in November.
So, Phil, you haven't canceled your vacation yet.
We have not canceled our vacation yet. We still have a little bit of time to kind of wait it out, see how things maybe go through the month of May. If we had to decide right now, we wouldn't do it.
And he wants to know how cruising will change. Well, Carnival tells us it's going to be doing a lot more cleaning. Staff will serve guests at food stations, and utensils will be replaced a lot more often. Robin?
Needed changes. All right, Gio, thank you. Now to tributes pouring in this morning for legendary football coach Don Shula, the winningest head coach in NFL history, going to the Super Bowl 6 times, once with the Colts, 5 times with the Dolphins, winning 2 of them. And as we know, one of those wins, the culmination of the only perfect season ever in the league. Bill Belichick, whose own attempt at a perfect season ended with a Super Bowl loss, said in a statement, Don Shula is one of the all-time great coaching figures and the standard for consistency and leadership in the NFL. Don Shula died at home, surrounded by his family at the age of 90 years old. What a champion and what a true gentleman.
Yeah.
Amy?
And what a legacy he leaves behind, Robin. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are following a lot of other headlines this morning, including reopening restaurants, the new safety measures for customers, and the future of dining. The CEO of Starbucks is joining us live.
And the latest on the college admissions scandal and Lori Loughlin fighting those charges. But first, let's go to Ginger. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Whit. At least 2 people were unfortunately killed in damaging winds from Kansas to Missouri, trees going into homes. And this video in Topeka, Kansas shows the power of that wind, 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging gusts, and we could see it again today. Let me bring you into what's going to happen here. Severe storms in the southern Appalachians, northern Georgia, western South Carolina. Let's get to the Tuesday trivia, sponsored by Macy's.
Sprinkle or passing shower today, mainly after lunchtime. But the bigger story is this cool pattern. Instead of having high temperatures in the lower 70s, we're in the 50s all day long today and even tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow's likely to be a washout. The cool pattern sticks around through the weekend. Could have some frost early Saturday and real low temperatures on Saturday. Mother's Day now, the high 64 degrees. Next weather maker won't come until Friday at the end of the week. But again, cold conditions for the weekend.
power to lower my blood sugar and A1C.
Because I can still make my own insulin, and Trulicity activates my body to release it, like it's supposed to. Once weekly Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes,